So I'm sorry to bust y'all bubble because y'all not figuring this shit out, right? So I'm gonna break it down for y'all. All black people is not the same. People say, oh, all black people need to be unified and we need unity and everything. Well, I'm gonna tell you this. There's different type of black people, right? You have the Borgias, the bourgeois. You have the Braxton P. Hart and the Bridges. You have the Carlton from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air type blacks, right? You have the Israelites, the super militant anti-white blacks. You have the blacks that's like 5% of Nation of Islam. You have the blacks that's like the Christians in the church. Everything is Jesus. If they drop a watch and if they drop their phone and it don't break and they pick it up, they say, oh, thank you, Jesus. If you hold the door for them, they say, oh, blessings. Thank you, Jesus. Everything is that. Then you got the blacks, just sit on the project benches all day, smoke weed, get drunk, get high. They eat Chinese food all day, go to the store, buy Lucy's, eat chopped cheese for dinner, drink Henny and do a bunch of reckless, just bullshit, right? Then you got the blacks that's, niggas is bisexual, niggas is gay, the women is gay and they think, being LGBT is going to win. You got your blacks that's on Martin Luther King type of time. They just want to march and preach all day. You got your blacks that's on some Reverend Al Sharpton and some Charles Rangel and Jesse Jackson shit where they just trying to sell their own people out and milk them and get the money and make the people think they going to make a move that make a difference, but really they just raping their own black community, like Reverend Seymour Butts and a bunch of other dudes, what I'm saying? So, it's all levels of black people, right? And people say, oh, black people was never unified, blah, 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 blah. No race is never unified because, the Irish was oppressed by the British, by the royal family. The Italians don't fuck with, this race or, during the 50s, during the 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, the Italians was killing each other. It was big mafia wars. So, do people say, oh, the Italians don't stick together? No. The Puerto Ricans don't get along with the Dominicans. They both, Hispanics. So people be like, oh, black people don't stick together. Nobody really sticks together. Some people just know that there's strength in numbers and some of them will group up and utilize their money or their finances or, their common goal and move further. But none of them really get along because all the mafia families was killing each other crazy for like 40, 50, 60 years. Same way Bloods and Crips was in California, clipping each other. It was black on black. In New York City, it was Italian on Italian. Gambinos against Genovese, this and that. Like, yeah, you see this shit when you watch mob stories and all that shit on, Discovery Channel and all that. So, gangs in New York show you that. Like, the Irish was going to war with the Italians, the Scottish didn't fuck with the Irish. Like, so when people say black people don't stick together, nobody really sticks together. It always been tribalism, cliques, crews. The wise survive, the dumb succumb, the strong survive, the weak retreat. It always been shit like that. Like, so there's different levels to black people. All black people will never be on the same page. You have niggas like Jay-Z, that did whatever he needed to do to get to the top or whatever, right? Then you have your people like, Tupac will just feel like the white man is against them and, they just rebellious and radical and not listening. Then you got your niggas like Suge that's on some Debo shit or whatever, extorting niggas, beating niggas out, bullying. So, no black majority will ever come. Like, those days is over. In the 60s, black people was more conscious and unified in the 60s, and that was majority African American. And then we know Marcus Garvey was Jamaican, so he had a group of, he unified the African Americans with the Jamaicans and the Haitians, because in the 1920s and the 1930s, when Marcus Garvey was around, like Noble Drew Ali or whatever, they was basically like fresh out of slavery, so they was on another type of time. Niggas is always racing, loud cars, there's all that shit for no reason. But yeah, this nigga won't let his dog. Why people do that? This sidewalk is huge. Wow, all that space, he let his dog come next to me and want to sniff me. That's what I'm telling you, is different levels of black people. He's stupid. He need to be re-enslaved or killed or hung. That was dumb. I want your fucking dog sniffing me. Black people stupid. But yeah, bro, there's different levels of black people though. You know what I'm saying? So people say, oh, blacks need to stick together. We all don't need to stick together. Harriet Tubman said, if more black people knew they were slaves, she could have freed more people. Some people was expendable. Some black people was just pawns, and they're there to be knocked off. They there to be used as doges, and they sacrificial lambs. And then some black people was here to really preserve reserve the people. And then you got your sellouts. It's always going to be sellouts. It's always been sellouts, man. You know, Judas set Jesus up. It always been sellouts. It always been cornball, funny shit. You always had infiltrators. You always had niggas that didn't want to go with the program. Niggas that didn't want to go with the program, so they said they was radical. Then you had dudes that didn't want to go with the radical program, so they said they were sellouts and house niggas and snitches. So get that out your mind, man, because when you go back to Africa, you know, if you go back to African time, you got the Ashanti, the Fulani, the Mandinka, the Igbo, the Xhosa tribe, all type of like African tribes that spoke different dialects. They was warring with each other. The Zulu knocked off a lot of tribes. You had the Bantu, you know what I'm saying, all type of other tribes, right? So this is what Jomo Kenyatta was saying. You know, in Kenya, the ex-president of Kenya, and he was a member of the Mau Maus. The Mau Maus was a revolutionary group. You know, he said, you know, African people as a whole never see eye to eye because there's different ideologies, different religious school of thoughts, different economical school of thoughts and stuff like that. So he's saying in order for us to ever unify really as one, you have to put your blackness first. But everybody that's black ain't black, so how you gonna put blackness first? You know, I'm gonna tell you this, man. For those who want to change the world, change start within self first. You gotta change yourself. How many black people gonna change themselves? I don't know. I know the lighting on this shit was fucked up all the way to the end, to like right now. But you know, I ain't want to hold my phone up like this. That shit hurt my arms. My muscles get tired. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. You know, cops is beating black people up. 64,000 to 80,000 black women is missing from this year alone. They was kidnapped, and they probably somewhere in underground warehouses getting their kidneys and hearts took out and being cloned and all that shit. Like, you know, what's the solutions? What is niggas gonna do? Police choking niggas out, whipping niggas out, beating niggas up, locking people up. Like, what is niggas gonna do? What's the solution? I'm asking y'all, because my solution, y'all don't like my solution. My solution is everybody get the hammers and we all just bang out and all die. So niggas like, oh, that's dumb. Why would we all die? Like, because if no black people was on this planet would be doomed. And that's not a racist statement. We create, we creative, we invent. Everybody else piggyback off of us once we invent it. Whether it's music, culture, fashion, whatever, this is a known fact. Brazil has the largest black population after Africa. They got a big, super unstoppable forest fire. They burning all them niggas out there. Indigenous, the people, the inhabitants of that land, because they want to gentrify, modify, rebuild that shit and turn it into whatever they want to turn it to. The Aborigines from Australia and all that, they knocked them off. The Bahamas, which is the predominantly black Caribbean island or wherever it's at, that shit is tarnished. That storm snapped that shit worse than Puerto Rico got snapped and worse than New Orleans got snapped. A lady said no buildings is standing, all the churches is gone. You think they helping them? FEMA's not helping them niggas because the goal is to global depopulation and get rid of them. So whoever's out there in the Bahamas, man, I pray y'all right, man. You know, the wise survive, the dumb succumb, the strong survive, and the weak retreat. Like, you know, like y'all should have seen this day coming. Y'all should have prepared for this day. You know, the government probably used some harp shit. They probably used some harp shit and sent the storm over there. I don't know what's going on, but I'm just telling you the future is dark for black people. It's gonna get real, real darker, and niggas better prepare and get it in, man. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Iron. Intelligence rule over negative nonsense. Warlord. Wisdom and righteousness is wisdom and righteousness is law over reckless decisions. You know what I'm saying? Niggas gotta man up or be man down. That's all I'm saying, man. I'm signing off, man. Y'all stay up like a cup. I holler back on my collar crack. We get up like sit-ups. I'm oxygen. Uno.